Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinars, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key of enhancing our performances and for our growth as professionals. With this principle in mind, TechGig has initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give a crisp insight of various domains. Topic for today's webinar session is Nuts and Bolts of Business Intelligence. We are delighted to have Mr. Rajiv Bhattacharya, System Software Engineer at IBM with us today. Rajiv currently works with Business Analytics team at IBM. He has over 6.5 years of total IT experience in the areas of database, data warehousing, and business intelligence. Rajiv received his MCA degree from West Bengal University and is an IBM certified Cognos specialist. Gentlemen, this presentation will continue for next 45 minutes and we'll take your questions after the presentation. In the meanwhile, you can post your queries through the chat pane available in the webinar software. Without further ado, I introduce you to our guest speaker, Mr. Rajiv. Rajiv, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
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 Yes, Rajiv, you're audible. Please go ahead.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Please
And
carry
the
on.
screen is visible too, right?
Yeah, right. It's
Okay.
visible.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rajiv Bhattacharya. Today's session is about business intelligence. The name is Nuts and Bolts of Business Intelligence, in which we'll talk about the basics of business intelligence today. So a few things that I'm going to cover here are the importance of business intelligence and what are the different components that our business intelligence system has. Firstly, data modeling. Data modeling is the first thing that is the first process for reaching business intelligence. Like if your business intelligence mainly targets decisions. It needs to impact the decisions of an organization. So for that, the first step is data modeling. Then there are some other steps that we'll look into. There is something called ad hoc query or professional reporting, analysis, dashboarding, etc. Okay, so just go ahead to the next slide. Here is the agenda for today. Firstly, we are going to cover importance of business intelligence, then importance of data modeling, then we will go into ad hoc queries, professional reporting, then dashboards, analysis, and finally some additional topics. We'll try to cover the additional topics only if we are left with some time. Okay, so firstly, this is what we are going to cover in the topic, importance of business intelligence. So firstly, what are the challenges in decision making? Next is what business intelligence is all about. What makes it important? Then we'll discuss the components of a AI system. Then we'll discuss what is IBM Cognos 10 BI, and then different components that we have in IBM Cognos 10 BI. Okay, so the first thing about business intelligence is the current challenges. Current challenges or pain points that the current reporting system or current MIS system has. Maybe a traditional MIS system, with a traditional MIS system, generally these kinds of problems are seen. Firstly, the first point is data everywhere, information nowhere, which means we have the chunks of data. captured from all the enterprise systems, the operational systems, transactional systems that you have in your enterprise. But to process this data and make it change it to actionable information, that is the key job of BI. That thing is missing in the traditional systems. Then the next thing is the user requirements. In terms of user requirements, we can talk about the formats. A user may want a particular report in Excel. Another user might want the same report in PDF. So we need to look for a platform which is format independent, which can publish the results in Excel, any versions of Excel, or maybe in PDF or XML, or maybe even in simple HTML. Again, there is something called on-demand and on-schedule. So on-demand is basically ad hoc requests for reports. Today, the CEO wants to look into a particular financial report that needs to be generated. So on-demand reports, and again on-schedule reports. So on-schedule means Monday morning we want a particular report. So how to go about that? If you create the report in a BI system and schedule it for the Monday morning, that report will get generated on every Monday morning. So, and you can just check that particular report when you are in office if it is set to your emails. Okay. The next thing is reporting takes a long time. With traditional MIS systems, there are various ways of reporting actually, but the most common I have seen in my tenure is the SQL scripts are written, and through that Excel files are generated, which takes a long amount of time. Maybe for a particular MIS, talking about the telecom domain, maybe the month-end reports takes 5 to 6 days, all the reports that they generate. Now, if there is some problem with that particular report, then it will be like maybe you want to add a particular column, then you have to run the full set of reports again, and that will eventually result in a loss of resources and a loss of records. The next point is security. Now, if we are talking about security, the main problem here is if we are distributing the reports, we need to distribute in such a way that every user gets to see what his privileges are for. So naturally, in Excel, there is no such feature. If you're sending the Excel report through emails, or maybe you're sending it via PDF, you cannot hide a particular column if you want to, otherwise you will have to edit that particular file directly. There is, you cannot do that automatically. You cannot have the system to do it automatically. Then the next part is delivery of to business users. That means how do we send the reports to business users? Naturally, the most important thing is every user needs those reports in their emails. So on Monday morning, I need my Monday morning reports. Friday evening, I need my Friday evening reports maybe. So these are scheduled accordingly, and these are sent to the user groups through emails. So your mail server is used, the network mail server is used, and emails are sent. Even if you are looking for a particular report to be printed every Monday morning before you go for a particular meeting, that can be done too. You need to schedule it to a particular printer, so it will get printed at that point of time, and you can use that. That is done in classical BI systems, not in traditional systems. So delivery to business users is always a problem with traditional systems. Then multiple versions of enterprise data. I'll give you an example. Think about a meeting where 5 people are attending. Everybody have the same data, but only the versions are different. That means somebody has the latest data, somebody has 15 days old data, somebody has 30 days old data. So in that particular meeting, like the results that they have in their reports are entirely different. So they cannot make a particular decision in this meeting due to the data that they have. The versions are different. So we need to find a system where the versioning of data is correct, data is always up to date, and available to the user. Business users can always access it and draw reports on it. Okay. Now we'll move to the next slide, which talks about business intelligence. So business intelligence is generally about providing the right information to the right people at the right time, so that they can take the right decisions. So that is the core of core principle in business intelligence. That is the base, you can call it. So the next thing is it is an enterprise-wide platform that supports reporting and analysis. Not only reporting and analysis, there is something called dashboarding too. So it's a platform that your company is using. It is implemented. This is an enterprise-wide platform in which you can do your reporting, analysis, and dashboarding together, which will eventually help in decision making. Now let's come to the third point, which talks about BI leads to fact-based decision making, which means decisions are made on the information, the actionable information that we are actually processing. We are actually processing the data, the transactional data from the traditional systems, and we are putting them into actionable information. That actionable information leads us to fact-based decision making. Okay. The next thing is single version of truth. Single version of truth again goes like where we discuss about various versions of data. Suppose like the meeting example that I had given, where different people have different versions of data. So in this case, we always have a single version of data. It is always up to date, and we are drawing our reports on that. Okay. BI includes reporting and analysis. That's what we are going to discuss next. Okay. The next point is, why is BI so important? Firstly, it changes the data into actionable information, which helps the decision makers in your organization to take the right business decisions. The next point is BI brings visibility to the lowest levels of data. Maybe some particular faulty product has, due to that particular faulty product, there have been so many returned items, but you are not being able to realize that how much is the impact unless you look into what is the what has been the quantity of products that has returned, and what is the profit that was there, but eventually the products were returned, so there was no profit like that. So analyzing these kind of factors, you need to dig deep into your data. So you need to look into the granular levels of the data. That visibility you can gain with BI software. Okay. Now, different aspects of business can be linked together, which means suppose there is some particular trainings that you are giving to your employees for health hazards. So how it's impacting the finance. So you need to relate these factors, the training department, their budgets, and finance. So these things need to be linked together. That can be done within business intelligence or business analytics. Okay. The next part is there is something called trend spotting or pattern spotting. So in case of diverse data, there might be some trends and patterns that can only be seen through some graphical formats, not in a tabular format. They go unnoticed. So a graphical format, by that we mean charts, graphs, etc. That is a must-have for a BI system. Okay. BI system always tells you the current situation that your company is in, and suggests you, like from looking at your reports, your decision makers can decide what will be the best action for you. Okay. The next is all business users have the same information. That only means, this we have already discussed, is the single version of truth that we are discussing. The data is at the same level, so there is no discrepancy in data among the users. Then we have the components of BI. In components of BI, the first part is data, which is the core component. This comes from the transactional systems that we have in the enterprise. Now, this is the transactional system or the production systems. That's what from where the data is coming, and then we need to gather these data and club them into a single place. That's what is called data model, and the process is called data modeling. And then what will we do when we have put that into a single place? We'll present the data in different formats. There is something called queries or ad hoc reporting. Another thing is professional reporting or enterprise standard reporting. Then we have analysis. Then we have alerts and proactive notification that can be sent to the business users. Then we'll come to scorecards and dashboards. We're going to discuss all these points here. Okay. Now, to talk about IBM Cognos 10 BI. In IBM Cognos 10 BI, it's a full business intelligence suite where you have the capabilities like reporting, analysis, dashboarding, scorecarding, etc., etc. Okay. Then, what Cognos 10 BI does to your organization is it enables you to take smarter decisions, faster decisions, to achieve better results, and you can always analyze your trends, the trend or patterns, opportunities that you might have, the weaknesses and threats. Okay. Now the next thing is, what are the capabilities that you might have, the additional capabilities that I was talking about that is in the last section of this presentation, is something like collaborative BI or mobile BI. Apart from the BI section, core BI section, which includes reporting, queries, and analysis, dashboarding. Apart from that, there are some things like collaborative BI, mobile BI, planning and budgeting. So if these are integrated with BI, like it gives you a full-fledged experience where you can take much better decisions, and the users can actually collaborate among themselves. And suppose a particular group of users, suppose your finance team, they want to take a decision. So all the finance team members can collaborate among themselves on a particular analysis and make their decision. And through mobile BI, the content is shared over mobile or maybe a tablet PC. Okay, the next part is, this is just a screenshot of the Cognos welcome page that you get once you have installed and configured the product. So the first two links that we have are called Business Insight, which actually say create my dashboards, offer business reports. These are basically Business Insight, which is the dashboarding capability in Cognos. The next link that you see says Query My Data. This is for Query Studio, in which we create ad hoc queries. The next one is Analyze My Business, which is for Analysis Studio, where we do collab analysis. The next one is Author Advanced Reports, that is Report Studio for professional or enterprise standard reporting. Last one is Manage My Events, is for Event Studio, which is about managing the events, alerts, and notifications. Okay, these are the different components that we are going to discuss. You can see the screenshots here about Business Insight, Query Studio, Analysis Studio, Report Studio, etc. Here we'll describe them. The first one is Framework Manager. This is the data modeling tool. That is not a web tool, that's why you cannot see it in the previous page. That is a separate installation that you need to do for this particular product. And the other things are Query Studio, which is again a web-based tool, which does the ad hoc querying part and gives answer to a particular business question that you might have. Report Studio, wherein you can create enterprise standard reports, which may include multi-page or multi-query reports. There might be a number of data sources included. Okay. In Analysis Studio, complex analysis are done. So things like slicing, dicing, or drill up, drill down. These concepts are actually put into practice in Analysis Studio. Okay. Then we have Business Insight. Business Insight is a new concept which is about dashboarding, wherein you can create a dashboard because each business user, each particular business user has his own way of analyzing the data. So for that, they need to create separate dashboards. Like the dashboard is about personalized content. So you may want to see the things A, B, and C. I may want to see A and B only. So there are personalized contents that helps users to take their business decisions. That's why dashboarding comes into picture, so that you can create your personalized dashboards. And Event Studio, the last one is Event Studio, which is the management console for events, alerts, and notifications. There is a question which is about the difference between analytics and business intelligence. So actually, you can call analysis as a superset of business analytics as a superset of business intelligence, wherein business intelligence only is only considered to do reporting, analysis, or reporting, analysis, or querying. In case of analysis, you can also integrate it with the other products like mobile BI and collaborative BI. So in case of analytics, you are actually you are using that actionable information that BI produces to take your business decisions. Okay. Then we have another question, which is, are the reports with inline queries slower than one written in the procedures? Okay. Inline, see, by inline queries, I think what you are trying to say is if you are going to create the query for a particular report and put that query so that you are directly hitting the database and fetching the data from there. And the procedures that we are talking about, procedures is a different thing. How BI works is completely different. It depends on the data model. The data model that has been created, depending on that data model, optimized queries are generated by the BI systems automatically, which hit the database, which are already performance optimized. So if you are trying to hit the database directly, maybe you are trying to run a particular procedure, or maybe you are writing the queries yourself, that will not give you the optimal performance. What will give you the optimal performance is to use the BI system in modeling, and then leverage that particular modeling in accessing the data from your reports or analysis. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, this is the welcome page. We have already described Cognos components here, and then we go into data modeling. In data modeling, we are going to discuss these things: what data modeling is, why is it important, then different techniques that we have in data modeling. Again, the next part will be IBM Cognos Framework Manager, which is a data modeling tool, Framework Manager user interface, how we can create a project, importing metadata, and then creating and publishing packages. So these are the things that we are going to discuss. Okay. Another question that we have is, does BI require data warehousing? Is BI acts as a layer on top of your data warehouse. So data warehousing, you are going to do the dimensional modeling. That is very important. You need to have a very good data warehouse to actually leverage that information to create quick reports. And so obviously data warehousing is the need of the hour. The good, if you have a good robust data warehouse or a dimensional model, if you call it, then the reports that you generate will be much faster and will also give you the correct results. Okay. I have another question which says, I run a website, daily thousands of users visit and consume content. On average, I get 200 page views. Do you think I need to have a BI tool? If yes, which BI tool? Okay. This is something. This is basically web analytics that you are talking about. I'm not sure if we have a particular tool in that area, but maybe the information that that you have, where from you are getting, you are already saying that 2 million page views per month you have. So from there are various tools also available in the internet which can do this web analytics for you. But definitely there are also some tools available in the market. But this is not where we can discuss the cost of implementation and stuff. Okay. The next one is, what is the difference between good data Tableau software and traditional BI? So good data Tableau software, these are the latest tools which basically focus on the visualization as well as as well as like the traditional BI systems that we had. The other ones, those were old. Those were traditional BI systems. Like in that you had robust business intelligence where you do data modeling and then you do it on top of this. There is something like it's the business requirement that is important, where you need to see where it fits in. So you need to use the software in that way. There is no line that you can draw between these kinds of softwares. Okay. What is future in-memory analytics? So talking about in-memory analytics, in-memory analytics is something where the full analysis can be done in the memory. All your reporting, the queries that you run for the reports, the analysis that you do, these are done in the background, totally in the memory. So like for that, there are several tools that have come in the market. There are in-memory databases like Cognos TM1 that is there in the market, which does it in split seconds, the calculations and everything. But provided you have that necessary RAM that you have, then you can use these tools, and these are really the future. You are actually right. Like you can call them as a future of business intelligence, these in-memory analytics. And then what we have, what is the best database system for BI? You cannot have any, like, there is nothing like you can call best database system for BI. But what we can do is a robust data warehouse is needed for BI, you can call it. There is no best database system or worst database system you can define here. Okay, how do you justify Cognos 10 is best tool compared to the others? So in that case, I'll say look into the features of the product. If you go into the features of the product, there is mobile BI, there is dashboarding, there is collaborative BI. If you look into the features of the product, there are tons of features which is beyond the scope of this discussion even. So look into the features of the product, and that will give you this answer. Okay, the next one is what are the career prospects in BI. So this is something like BI has a large market here. BI has a large market worldwide, and last 3-4 years BI has been booming. So people have skills in BI are rated in high value in the market. Okay, the next is there any difference between SAP BI, IBM Cognos? So these are two different softwares. Both are BI tools. If you're talking about business objects and Cognos, both are BI tools. Both have different sets of features, and you cannot draw a line and try to put in difference between two products. These can be compared in terms of the features that it has and which is best suited for your business. Okay, I'll go ahead with the slides now. Okay, data modeling. In data modeling is what we call is the techniques of organizing data. Enterprise data is known as data modeling. So how do we organize data? This organization of data is done in two techniques. One is called ER modeling, another is the dimensional modeling. Why this is done is, as you the actionable information you need from the reports is generally impacted by the enterprise data by organized enterprise data that you have in your models. So that's why data modeling is of importance. And then data modeling directly impacts the delivery of actionable information. That's what explains the previous point. Okay. Now, business users in traditional systems, business users do not actually access the enterprise data. But in this case, business users actually access the data and draw reports on them. But the channel through which they access the enterprise data is data model. The data model needs to be created considering the user requirements. Like a particular user group may want slicing, drilling up, and drilling down. So keeping that in mind, you should design the schema. The dimensional modeling should be done, and you need to choose particular schemas like snowflaking or star schema that you are going to take up, which will address the the user requirements. Okay, we'll go ahead to the next slide. Okay, why data modeling is important? Firstly, if you have a good data model, then authoring and analyzing the data becomes much easier. That's what we are talking about, a robust data warehouse, a good data model that you can use in using reports and analysis. Then what we have is data models can access multiple data sources. So if we have multiple data sources, data models can access all the data sources and club the information into one, a single piece from where the reports and analysis can take the data and present it in a format. Okay. This is actually, data modeling is actually known as the most important phase of BI, and it can also add some layer of abstraction where if you do not want to show particular data in your report, you can do that in your data model. Okay. The next one we have is the different techniques in data modeling. First one is entity relationship modeling, which is the traditional one where we generally design the database with entities, attributes, and relationships. Okay. Now, the advantage that we have in ER modeling is we have normalized data, but the problems that we have is if we use ER modeling, then the processing of the multi-join queries, where you are going to join, where you are going to process large query which has multiple joins, the performance is not satisfactory in case of ER modeling, that is why the dimensional modeling approach is followed, which is built around the concepts like facts and dimensions. So facts and dimensions are generally designed in schemas like star schema or snowflake schema. Okay. The next one is IBM Cognos 10 Framework Manager. The Framework Manager is the data modeling tool for Cognos BI. What happens in in Framework Manager is you can fetch the data from multiple data sources, you can create your model and publish it. Once you publish it, it's published as a package. IBM Cognos 10 Studios use this package for reporting and analysis purpose. There are two kinds of models that you can create in Framework Manager. One is relational model, one is DMR or dimensionally model relational, where you are trying to create a dimensional model. Okay. Relational models are generally good to address the ad hoc queries and the reports and the basic reports. In case of DMR is the whole analysis part. This is a Framework Manager interface that we have in there. Okay. Firstly, if you see here, this is the project viewer pane where you can actually expand the objects that you have. Here you have the project info pane where you can see the diagram or the dimension maps that is within your data modeling tool Framework Manager. If you choose a particular object in here, the properties are shown in this screen. Okay. On the right hand side, you can see the tools. These tools actually are the synopsis and the options that you have for the model. Okay, the next one is creating projects. So if you click on create a project, you can actually provide a location and the name, and then you can go ahead with creating the project. The next phase is importing metadata. So in this case, as you can see, all the tables have been selected. If you don't want to select, you can just uncheck those tables. It is procedures. You can put them inside the uh, inside your data model to use that. Okay. The next thing is publishing packages, creating and publishing packages. So package is something that is created in Framework Manager once you have created your model. You can create multiple packages within a model, and you can also choose particular data items in each package. And these packages work as data sources for reporting and analysis. Okay, then we come to ad hoc queries. Ad hoc queries are nothing but typical business questions, some particular business questions that needs to be addressed. Those are ad hoc queries. Okay. Then we'll discuss IBM Cognos 10 Query Studio. Okay. Firstly, ad hoc queries are particular questions about business. Queries can be authored by any business user, and it will not require any expertise of a report author. Okay. Now, the navigation through a large set of data, going down to the lowest level of organization is often required. So this is where you what you can do with ad hoc queries. You can always compare one set of data with another. You can always have charts and graphs so that your ad hoc queries answer is given quickly. Okay, then we have IBM Cognos queries to thing ad hoc query. So what it does is it is basically a web-based tool which is meant for ad hoc queries and reports, and it can work with both types of models, like a relational model or dimensional model. What it can help you is in case you can explore the enterprise information that you have handy. The next one is you can create your ad hoc reports quickly in a flash. You can compare the data sets, multiple data sets that you might be having. You can add charts and graphs which can add meanings to your queries or basic reports. You can have dynamic filtering and sorting. These are also available in Query Studio. Okay, this is the screen that this is the user interface actually for Query Studio. So in Query Studio, you can just drag and drop, and you can see the data values in here. This is the menu bar where there are various options like sorting, aggregation, or maybe grouping, ungrouping, adding charts, etc. This is the insertion pane where you can just drag and drop the items. Okay, the types of reports that we have in Query Studio are firstly list report. List report is a tabular format where you can have certain details in there. A group list report is just a modified list report where you have summaries together with a list report. Crosstab report. In crosstab report, you actually show the data values as intersecting points of rows and columns. So you can use one particular measure along with two sets of data that you might have. Okay. Then charts and graphs in Query Studio. Charts and graphs actually add more meaning to the reports that you have. You can draw your conclusions quickly. So, but all the charting features that you have is actually available in Report Studio. Here, a small subset of charting features is only available. So you can see a 3D pie chart and a 3D bar chart here. Okay, we'll go to professional reporting. What professional reporting is, it's mainly the crux of business intelligence. What you do is in business intelligence, you enable the users to take smarter, faster, quicker, smarter, faster, and accurate decisions, I'd say, So professional reporting is the main thing for that. We'll just go into details, then we'll move into IBM Cognos Report Studio. So professional reporting actually enables the decision makers to view critical information that you have for your business and then take a quicker decision and a better decision for the company and the correct decision for the company. So that's what professional reporting does. Charts and graphs and all kinds of cool formatting we have here, which are integral parts of professional reporting, which actually makes the reports more presentable, and like business users can draw conclusions quickly from those reports. Then you have various formats of reports. Users always demand that I'll take reports in this format, not that format. So most of the formats are supported. You can have your reports in Excel, PDF, or maybe HTML or XML. So once we have covered professional reporting, we have moved to Cognos 10 Report Studio, where you can see different formats are possible. Report Studio is a web-based application that will allow you to create simple or complex reports that depends on the user requirement, and this will actually impact decision making for your organization. You can also analyze the information in Report Studio, and you can present the data to a number of business users with a wide array of tools available to you. There are multiple things like sorting, you can do filtering, you can add prompts. Okay. Then charts and graphs and different formattings are also possible, which can give you, which can make the look and feel of a particular report pretty good, and the content becomes more meaningful. Okay. You have enterprise standard templates that you can apply, which maybe for a particular project, every particular report needs to have a same format. You need to use enterprise standard template. Okay. Then, if you have the user requirement, you can also schedule the reports so that there won't be any user intervention. Suppose you want to run a particular report on every Monday at 10 a.m., so it will be run. Then you can distribute these emails, distribute these reports through emails, or maybe you can just target them. You can target them to the printer so that it will get printed maybe on the Monday morning if you want it that way. Okay. The next part is the user interface. You can see the insertable objects pane here, where you can drag and drop the objects. If you choose a particular column, you can see the properties in here, and here lies the various array of tools. Okay. The next one is different report types. The report types we have here is list reports, which we have already discussed. Cross-tab reports, chart reports will have charts and graphs. Map reports is about putting a map and then drawing analysis on top of that. Financial reports are like, follow financial patterns. A repeater table is repeating the same object multiple times in a report. There's something called active report, where you can save a particular report, and while being offline you can draw your analysis. You can actually use it for your analysis at that point. The report will open fine, the report is saved, and you can use it for your analysis. There's something called report template. We have just discussed the enterprise templates. So this is the report template, where you can put a template to multiple reports in a particular project so that the look and feel becomes similar. Okay. Next one are the charts that we have in Cognos 10. So you can have 3D bar charts and also line graphs, etc. So some cool formatting and charting that you can do in here. Okay. You can also apply styling. You will always notice that in case of Query Studio, the information that was available came directly to the web page. In Query Studio, if you drag and drop a particular item, you can see its value. But in case of Report Studio, the value is not shown. You can see in here that only the columns are being shown, and because this is professional reporting where you need to put a lot of you can put a lot of chart, lot of formatting, lots of charts and graphs here in, so that they take better business decisions. So you need to run this report actually so that correct rendering can be done, and all the formatting that you have done that is shown in the report. Okay, this particular screenshot actually shows you where you can edit the fonts, etc. You can edit font colors. Maybe you can also change the background or change the font types and sizes, etc. Okay. Then we come to analysis. Analysis or OLAP analysis is the concept where you use the data warehousing transactions like slicing and dicing and rolling up, drilling down, these things. So then we'll go to Analysis Studio, where we'll discuss the user interface, we'll create an analysis, add charts, and drill up and drill down. Discuss. Okay. Analysis is in business intelligence is actually for the business users to find the root cause. It actually points you to the why of business. So why of a particular event. Okay, then with analysis, the enterprise data that we have is scanned using different combinations of data. So enterprise data is actually being investigated with different combinations, which is not actually possible in case of a traditional system. But here in traditional analysis systems, or in BI, what you are doing is you are putting in combinations of data, and with help of that, you are actually scrutinizing the full enterprise data. So what are the values? You are doing your analysis and finding out trends and patterns, and then use it to take your business decisions. Okay. You can also use charts and graphs to understand the changes over time. Okay. Analysis Studio is again a web-based tool where you have a drag and drop environment, which is also available in case of Report Studio or Query Studio. But Analysis Studio, the difference is it works for dimensional models only, because the main goal is to do slicing, dicing, drilling up, drilling down, etc. Okay. So using Analysis Studio, the business users can focus on a particular item. They can understand trends, patterns, and deviations. They can compare data, two data sets. They can compare those data sets. They can assess the performance by checking the highest and lowest values. You can highlight the highest and lowest values and then check. Okay. You can determine the relative importance using calculations. Okay, so relative importance means one particular entry is more than the other. In which way? Maybe you are going to take a weighted average of it, so that you understand that actually the entry for A gives me more returns than the entry of B. That's how it's done. So there are things called growth and rank which actually help you in this regard. Okay, you can always share your findings with other business users. Okay, next we go to the Analysis Studio user interface. Here is the insertable objects pane. Here is the menu bar, and here is the across tab. You can see this is actually an analysis where you can put in the measure in here, and rows and columns. Put your dimensions, and you can do the analysis. See here. What we have done is we have just put in product in here and a time dimension here. So, and we are putting the expected volume here, so that this is the measure, and these are two dimensions which take care of my rows and columns. This is product and this is time dimension. So you can see that once you drag and drop these three items, this report gets formed. Now, as this is a dimensional model, you can drill down. So you can, if you click on camping equipment, it will show you the products that you have inside camping equipment. Okay, you can actually change the views from crosstab, only crosstab to only chart, or maybe crosstab and chart. So you can do that by just clicking in here, view, and then choose the particular one. Crosstab and chart shows like this. You can actually drill up and drill down in both the chart and the crosstab as well. So what I was talking about is drilling down. So when you click on this particular entry in here, or maybe this entry, you get down to the next level where this entry, this camping equipment, becomes the summary level. Okay. Now this is for drilling down, and if you want to drill up, you need to right click and choose drill up. So you can go to the upper level. Okay, then we'll go to dashboarding. Dashboarding is actually creating the personalized dashboards, and then we'll just see a sample dashboard in Cognos Business Insight. So what dashboarding does is it gives you a holistic view of your most critical parameters in business. Then it can help the business users to actually personalize the enterprise content, and the way they take business decisions, that way they can personalize the contents and see that information that they want to look at and take business decisions accordingly. Can actually create dashboards to by simple drag and drop. You can reuse the contents of the reports that you have already created. You can apply dynamic filters, and you can also analyze the contents and share it with other business users. That is dashboarding. That is what dashboarding is all about. The next thing, the dashboard in Cognos 10 BI suite is Business Insight, which is actually another web-based tool in which you can use Cognos content which is already there. I mean, the reports that has already been created, or maybe external data sources. By external data sources, it can be Excel files from which you can get data, and then you can create your dashboards using these two sets of data. You can use your, suppose there is report A which has a particular list report, a list and a crosstab. In report B, you have a chart and a list, but you want to pick the crosstab from report A and the chart from report B and create your personalized dashboard. That is possible. You just need to select that particular report. Inside that, you will find that chart. Just drag and drop that chart and drag and drop that crosstab, and you get your report created in a flash. Okay. So dynamic filters are available in which you can address it, like you focus on the key areas that you have. You are already reusing the contents, basically the reports that you have created. You are using them for your dashboards. You're actually using those report objects, and the most important thing is you are doing it with a very less effort. You are just dragging and dropping those elements to create a dashboard, and then there is a search assisted offering, which means is there is a search tab where you can put in, suppose you need to put in finance, so that all your finance reports come in, and then you can choose the elements from those reports. That is also possible. So this is the search tab I was talking about, and this is a sample dashboard. You can see these are multiple report objects. These charts have been fetched from multiple reports, different reports, and the filters that you can see is, this is a year filter where it's showing from 2004 to 2007, but if you just pull this filter to 2005, it will show from 2005 to 2007. So dynamically it will change, it will auto update the charts. And here is another filter where you can just uncheck these items if you don't want to see the values for these. Okay, then you have some additional topics like mobile BI and collaborative BI. So for mobile BI, we'll also discuss IBM Cognos Mobile, which is the mobile product from Cognos, and we'll also discuss a little on the collaborative capabilities of Cognos 10 BI. Okay. So what mobile BI does is mobile BI actually uses the business intelligence contents in your mobile phones or maybe in the tablets that you are using. Okay. The decision makers can take their business decisions on the go. Suppose, irrespective of the location, irrespective of their location, maybe you want to access the business intelligence reports and do some analysis on your own through your phone, you can do that. Okay. Then, as we all know that mobile BI for the last few years has been a game changer, and game changer is in the market, and it's one of the leading trends. As the numbers of adoption of tablets is increasing, mobile BI is getting more and more popular. Okay. The next thing is what IBM Cognos Mobile is. It's basically designed for the users so that they can access, analyze, and share the business intelligence content irrespective of their location. Then do not need to log in or to the business intelligence system and check their reports. Instead, they can use their phone and just access the data, analyze the information, and then share it with the other colleagues, other business users. Okay, so business users can work with trusted content and have a rich and visual experience, even with the tablets that are available. Okay. IBM Cognos Mobile has the ability to use the contents, use the BI contents. You are not creating anything new. You are actually leveraging the BI contents that your report authors had already created. You have a single administrative environment which is at the end of Cognos BI, and you are doing no administration at the level of Cognos Mobile. So it's very easy for IT teams to implement this. Then what IBM Cognos Mobile supports today includes Apple iPhones and iPads. It also supports BlackBerry smartphones and playbooks. And the operating systems, if you look from the operating system point of view of your phone, so it supports Android 3, Symbian, and also Windows mobile phones. When it comes to collaborative BI, what collaborative BI is, you can call it the recent concept, like recently highlighted concept. It was there with other products earlier, but it has come to the picture. The particular term collaborative BI has come to picture recently, in the recent past. Okay. So in collaborative style of BI, what is done is you actually share your analysis with a particular group of business users, maybe a particular team of finance analysts, your finance team. What they do is Mr. A, who is a finance analyst, creates a particular analysis and shares it with his other colleagues, Mr. B, Mr. C, and Mr. D. So which are other finance analysts. They look into their analysis, Mr. A's analysis, add on top of it, and put their comments in. And that's actually a way about sending your particular analysis in an email and waiting for a reply. So when it's actually shared with the social networking perspective in mind, this works pretty well, and your job gets done. It's actually working as a meeting that you might have. Okay, then what collaborative BI gives you is faster, more informed, and accurate decision making. Okay. It actually makes use, collaborative BI actually makes use the full use of your BI solution that has been implemented. You can share the analysis that you have done with any other business user with just with click of a button. Okay. Then collaborative capabilities that we have in Cognos 10 BI. There is actually integrate Cognos 10 BI with IBM Lotus Connections, which is a product which has a broad set of social networking capabilities. So that you can actually share ideas, you can share your insights, and you can ask for ideas. Then Cognos 10 BI includes the built-in collaborative capabilities, which actually fuel the exchange of ideas, or it actually enables you to share your ideas with the people who will take the decision. Maybe the closed user group, which can take the decision for you, you can share it with them. Capabilities like forming, decision making is becoming simpler. You can form communities, you can capture annotations and opinions, and you can proceed with your decision by sharing insights. Okay, so we have basically completed the collaborative BI sections. So now I'll take up the questions that we have. These days people talk about cloud everywhere. Is business intelligence software that is cloud-based? Okay, there are business intelligence implementations in the cloud as well. You can just check in the internet. You'll find a lot of information on BI on cloud. Okay, next is what makes Cognos different from other tools like SAS and Hyperion? Maybe as I have already said that it's each product is unique with the features that it has. So you can actually check the number of features that Cognos has. So this actually makes it one of the BI market leaders. Then what is the pros and cons of outsourcing business intelligence? This is not a question that we can address here. Actually, by outsourcing business intelligence, what you're saying, I believe, is maybe you are giving a contract to another company to implement your business intelligence, which is done in most of the cases. But the thing is, if you are going to implement it yourself, then you will have to hire those individuals, and there will always be a gap of knowledge from the business users to the developers that are doing. That's why frequent user meetings are required, and the user requirements are needs to be stated clearly to the developers. Okay, what do you mean by actionable information? Okay, actionable information means the piece of information which enables you to take the right decisions with the particular values in your tables, the data that you have in your tables, the data points. With that, you cannot take any decision. But the information, the spotting of trends and patterns, with that you can take your decisions. That's why actionable information is important. Okay, in all functional areas, in what all you can basically use it in all the domains possible. We've seen it applied to the n number of domains. Just name it. Maybe healthcare, maybe telecom. You can use it in most of the domains. Maybe insurance. Okay. Okay. Then how does Google Analytics compute multi-dimension reports? So that is something that we are. There is a different question that is not aligned with the topics that we are covering today. Okay, which is the best place to get BI Cognos hands-on training in your opinion? Okay, BI Cognos hands-on training. If you actually, IBM also provides the hands-on trainings on business intelligence on Cognos. So you can find it in the Cognos training links. So that is, in my opinion, the best training you can get in the market. Okay, what BI software do web companies need? What would someone like Amazon, eBay use? So see, depends on where you are basically. If you are storing this particular data somewhere, there are tools. There are many tools today available on web analytics, but the thing is, you need to analyze what your expectations are. Maybe if you are storing the data that you have, like web visits data, if you are storing, you can even leverage it with a business intelligence software. So, like you can use Cognos to use that particular information that you have in your database and get your analytics done. Okay. Do Cognos use SQL queries? Obviously, it uses SQL queries. So what it does is basically optimize SQL queries, and you can also try to hit the database yourself if you want. You can write the SQL queries on your own, and you can put it in your reports, and the model will run that. Okay. If someone has worked on SAP BI, how much time it will take to an individual? This is a very difficult question to answer. This is something like, if you have worked on a BI tool, you already have your preliminary concepts, so you are already in a better position from a person who is starting. So that is a point which is going to help you always, and then I think if those concepts are correct, you can always master BI tool. Okay, the last question that I have here is, what is the scope of BI? 2-4 years down the line, is there a standstill, or we have enough scope to grow here? I think if you ask for my opinion, I'll say that I don't think there will be a standstill, because there have had been a number of innovations that are coming through, more capabilities being added. The future of BI is definitely the in-memory. There is one concept of in-memory of BI, but apart from that, if you are talking about like a full complete solution that is provided to your company, with all departments taking the reports from a single system, BI can be used as that solution too. Okay, I think I've addressed all the questions as well. So okay.
Okay, Mr. Rajiv.
Keshav, you're there?
Mr. Rajiv, I think we can conclude now. You have answered most of the questions. Right?
Okay, thank you then.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Mr. Rajiv, for your informative session on nuts and bolts of business intelligence. It was indeed an enlightening session. I would also like to thank our participants for their support in making this webinar a huge success. The next recording of this webinar will be available on techtalk.com by tomorrow. Gentlemen, the next session in TechGig webinar series is happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. Topic for the webinar is Cloud Computing Strategies for Enterprise. We will be having Mr. Sankar Verma, Practice Manager at Yash Technologies, as our guest speaker. So see you all tomorrow. Thank you.